Hey there, aspiring guitarists. We're going to talk about tuning, but not how to tune the guitar. You know how to do that. It's pretty self-evident. What we're going to talk about is the old way we used to tune with a pitch pipe or a tuning fork, and then we tuned the guitar to itself, known as relative tuning. Nowadays, we have these wonderful digital headstock tuners. I'm going to hit the high E string. Watch both of them. If you're hearing buzz, it's actually up on the headstock. This is a Strobo Tuner. This is a Snark digital tuner. You can see they're both displaying an E. The Strobo Tuner, the idea, and it's supposed to be one of the most accurate, and I found it to be one of the most accurate, is that it doesn't, when it strobes, it's slow moving. I'm gonna watch what happens when I change this. See how it's starting to see it even drop to a D. Now it's moving fast. Remember, this is not about learning to use this. I'm going to tie this together with octaves. Notice how both of them are getting a little closer. Okay, enough of that. So now let's talk about what we did before we had digital tuners, and how and why that can help you to learn about octaves. Let me turn the Snark off, and let's remove it from the headstock of a Martin here. Okay, this is a baby Martin, LXK2 Koa version. So we had a pitch pipe. We had a metal one. This is just a cheaper plastic one, but you can see it has a note in the string. For instance, you can see at the bottom G3, B2, E1. Up at the top, it's got the string number and the note. So what we would do, we would pick. Now, yeah, you could actually you could tune every string that way, but that's not what we did. We would pick either the low E 6th string or the high E 1st string, one or the other, and we would all get in tune with that. And you can hear, let me pick the high E. All right, I was hitting the 1st string, or the E string, the high E. Well, let me hit the 2nd string, B, and let you hear that it's not the same. But let me move to B. Okay, but again, all we had to do was get one of the E's in tune with the pitch pipe, and then we had to all be together on that one string. So we would blow into the pitch pipe, we would get the high E, everybody else would hit it, we'd look at each other and we'd go, nah, you need to be higher, nah, you need to be lower, and we'd finally get an agreement. Once everybody got that one string together, then we did relative tuning. What do we mean by relative? We tuned the guitar to itself. Now, you can tune a guitar to itself and be out of pitch, out of key. In other words, if I start tuning a guitar to itself and I haven't tuned one of the strings that I'm using to tune the guitar to itself to the correct pitch, then I've just got a guitar that's in tune to itself, but it's out of tune to the rest of the world, to other musicians, to the A440 frequency pitch. You'll see what I'm talking about. So what we would do, we got the E string. Then we would do things on the 5th fret, and we would move up the strings. Now, we had to do something different on the B string. We had to go from the 5th fret on the 2nd string, B string, to the 4th fret when we were above it with the 3rd string. This will make sense. Stay with me. I know I'm throwing out strings, notes, this, that, the other. I'm gonna walk through this fast and then I'll break it down. So this is how you would see somebody tuning. But I'm not gonna stop and tune, but they would pluck, tune it till it was in tune to itself, relative, and then they'd move to the next string, pluck again. What they were doing, and I'm gonna show you in a minute using my fingerboard with notes, they were actually tuning octaves. So this is the E string. If I press down right here, I get an E in a different octave. And so you would go, you were just strumming the second and the first. All right, so you got that in tune. Then you would move up a string. You'd go the third string to pluck first, but then you had to move where you had this on the 5th fret. Now you would move to the 4th fret. Whoop, my bad. Now notice if I slide it to where I was on the 5th, how it doesn't sound right. All right, there it is on the 4th fret. It's out of pitch, it's out of key, it's not right. But if I slide to the 4th, it is right. That's the only string I moved to the 4th fret on. If I was to jump up here to tune to go to the 4th string, then I'd move back to the 5th fret. I was doing it on the 4th and you saw it sounded wrong. All right, so I'm on the 4th with the 3rd. Remember, that's the only one. Now I go back over to the 5th. Now I'm gonna come down where you can hear it. Let's do it where you can see what I'm doing. I'm touching the 6th string, 5th fret. So I pluck the 6th string and then I pluck the 5th. Then I move my fretted finger down to the 5th string and I pluck the 5th and I pluck the 4th. Now let's go down one more string where I'm fretting the 4th string. So now I pluck the 5th and the 4th. My bad, I plucked the 4th and the 3rd, sorry about that. I don't do this much anymore, but this used to be the only way you tuned. So basically, the one you're pressing is the first one you pluck, and then you pluck the string under. All right, here I go moving down. Now, listen to this. Ooh, it doesn't sound right. Why? Because I've got to slide it to the 4th fret. Because now we're doing G and B, 3rd and 2nd. There it is. All right, so now I'm going to move down and I'm going to slide back to the 5th fret. And we're back again. And then here's the E, high E, first string by itself that we all tuned with the pitch pipe to all be together. So after we were all together, we tuned the guitar to itself. So it went like this. Watch how I go from the 5th to the 4th when I jump up to the next string. And then I come back to the 5th. I'll do it slow. Now, of course, if you were out, you'd be tuning and trying to get, watch. I'm getting close. Went too far. Pretty close. So we learned to do that. We learned to take our pitch pipe, get either the high E or the low E in tune, in pitch. That's why it's called a pitch pipe with the pitch pipe. Get one string in tune with the pitch pipe and then you could relative tune the guitar to that string. Because once you got this one right, then you can move to the next string. They're just octaves apart. Here I've got to jump to the fourth for that B, for anything that includes a B. Stay with me, this is going to make sense when I go to the notes. Okay, so let's go to the notes. What's going on here? Let's look at what's going on. All right, let's get this in view. Let's get down here to the 5th fret. Here's 5th fret. So imagine these are strings. So what was I doing? Well, as you can see right there, that's an A. But if I hit the string open, it's an E. So hitting this string where you see the A note, if you push open, is an E. So when I pushed down on the E note, see the E note right there? When I push down on that and pluck, I'm hitting an E note on the second string, and I'm hitting an E note by hitting the open string. Then I move up, and I've got a C note here. Okay, so when I push here, I have a C note on the 5th string. And then what is the second string? E, B, G, D, A, E. It's a B. So shouldn't there be a B below it? Well, no. That's that B string that I had to drop to the 4th fret. But then once I come to the G, E, B, G, we're talking strings. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, E, B, G. There's the G, so I press down on the G, and then I pluck the 3rd string, which is a G. And you're soon going to figure out, if I haven't confused you, if I pluck here, I'm hitting a D note. But the string below that is the 4th string, or the D string. You're just plucking the same notes, different octaves. That's why when we tell you that if you pluck the low E string, get that where you can see it, I apologize. But if you pluck the low E string and then you come all the way down to the 12th fret, you're going to get E again, octaves apart. In fact, it's a couple octaves apart. So that might have confused you. If it did, please say so in the comments. If I have to, I'll enhance this. I'll try to go deeper. But learning these octaves and that, you know, these are great. And you may think, well, I don't need to learn what you just said. I have digital tuners. Well, there's a lot of reasons to learn what I just said. Number one, what if you don't have a digital tuner? What if you don't have a pitch pipe? Well, if you're going to play with another guitarist and the two of you can just pluck the high E string and both of you get that high E string the same, then you can use the relative tuning that I just showed you. Then your guitar is going to be in tune to itself, but because you agreed on this E string, you're also in tune with the person you're playing with. So that's something that can help you with other things. The other thing it did, it taught you that, hey, this is an E. Striking the 1st string open is an E. Okay? Now let's go through this. E, F, G, A. So if I press down there, I get an A. All right, let's do the B string. B, C, B, C, D, E. So if I push down here on the 2nd string, 5th fret, I get an E note. And then if I strike the string below, which is the 1st string, or an E string when it's open, I've got 2 E's going. you're tuning in octaves, you're learning octaves. Learning those octaves will help you learn how to find notes on the fretboard. If you can find notes on the fretboard, you can find chords on the fretboard. If you can learn these notes, you will get more out of furthering your musical theory. Even if you don't want to go down the theory aisle, I get that, but you'll go down the shape and the pattern aisle. You know, if I make a bar chord up here, this is an F. Well, because I know the musical alphabet, F, move one fret, that's F sharp. Move a second fret, that's a G. G sharp, A on the 5th fret. A sharp, B on the 7th fret. B to C is a half step, so 8th fret's a C. And then I've got a C sharp on the 9th, a D on the 10th, a D sharp on the 11th, and an E on the 12th. So these little things will one day come together. And you need to understand how you're tuning a guitar. It's not just, we didn't always have digital tuners. I know you may think I'm going backwards in time, but sometimes going backwards in time can spring you forward with new things to learn. I hope that helps. If it confused you, say so. I'll do an advanced video. I'll try to break it down some more. I'll do whatever I can to help you so you have a blessed guitar journey. And hey, most of all, happy picking.